What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Another edition of Holy Try Football Podcast. It's me, AY, coming to you from the beautiful state capital, the red state, the Commonwealth, Pennsylvania, to my west, getting increasingly closer to me. Danberg, what's up?
Yes, just fleeing the headquarters of Ohio State University for the night, and I mean, the vibes are. It's a weird vibe out here. I think people are happy, but does the specter of losing to Michigan create a lower ceiling that only, I would say, potentially they're the only fan base this could happen to with a championship game upcoming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a comment on that coming up later as well. To my east, Can, what's up?
Recovering. I think from my tooth surgery.
Yeah.
Or not anything else. It's been a fairly uneventful week, I guess. Penn State basketball took a couple of L's, bad L's, I guess.
Pitt
There's
basketball.
a skirmish in Tallahassee last night. I saw.
Yeah,
There's a skirmish. But yeah, what has happened since we last talked? I think just 2 games, right?
All our teams but AY's team lost. That is what
That's
happened.
true. I saw a note, a tweet, something about Penn State basketball, Penn State football, Steelers, Pitt basketball, Pitt,
Penguins,
Steelers have all cumulatively lost 19 games in a row, I think, or something like
that is, it
Jeez.
feels like double that.
that. The state of Pennsylvania, I guess Philadelphia does not need to mourn. Western PA people mourning, all of them. But yeah, I mean, had a couple of news and notes, I guess. Departures. We don't need to go through the whole laundry list, but a lot of people making a big ruckus about who's coming back for Penn State. A big nucleus. They're loading up for the Michigan title run, Ohio State title run of the last couple of years, expending their war chest on retainage rather than going out and trying to find new players. Speaking of retainage, Penn State was not able to retain defensive coordinator Tom Allen. We don't. I think those listening to the podcast now probably have heard the news the last couple of days, but opting for greener pastures. He got a little bit of a raise in Clemson with Dabo, but the big reason I think that he's been leaning on is I think he's got two kids that live in that Carolina area and be better for his family and closer. So I think that was a nice cherry on top and something that really pushed him over the edge to and it's not like he had roots in State College by any means. He'd been there 1 year. So Penn State on the sell once again for defensive coordinator right now in the market for one looking like it's going to be Poindexter and maybe an internal hire, this current safeties coach who has done a great job. Seems like he is the one that will be getting the job. Danton Lynn, the former cornerback from my time in school, he interviewed. He's the one that just got to USC this past year. News coming out right before we went live here this evening that he got a raise and a contract extension over at in Los Angeles. So it looks like he'll be staying put there. Any other news and notes on your end, AY? Dan?
I don't believe I have any. The one thing, and I was going to throw this out there the other day, the Alar he's done as far as considering, right?
Right,
he obviously
right.
made the statement.
I think
I was going to say
the deadline for entering was today or yesterday, I think.
Okay.
Obviously, excluding the two teams playing this coming Monday.
Right. Yeah, I mean his performance, which we'll get into, notwithstanding, in the last game, I did wonder if he would be like, the Browns have the second pick. Cam Moore's probably going to go to the Titans. Would he go do that? Obviously not. But I think he would have graded out better than Shedeur or anybody else.
I think so too. Yeah, I think.
So it was interesting that he, obviously he wants to win a championship, and I get that. So, and certainly didn't want to throw that out there on whatever, like Sunday afternoon, a few days after the game, whatever he seemingly could have done that. I was just going to wait and see, but it is done as far as him coming back.
It is done as far as him coming back, yes. And the deadline to enter the draft was yesterday. So I think it is done.
But I have, nothing to report on my end from a news and notes standpoint. I mean, if we want to branch out even further from our teams, I would say the biggest was Beck going to Miami?
Yeah, definitely.
Since we last talked.
Yeah, that one was. I was surprising because the news broke when we were out there last week, right? Right, AY?
It was
day of, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Thursday.
I officially found out in the hotel room. Yeah.
Yeah, that he was in the portal, and then we saw what he was. Not a surprising move, I think, because of. I guess surprising in the sense that he declared first, but then you had seen a lot of the mocks had dropped his stock after a subpar year, and then obviously the injury also. It makes sense that he explored other options, especially with what's out there money wise. You look at what Ewers turned down in the alleged $8 million deals. He got a $4 million one, I think, here to go to Miami. His girlfriend is graduating from there this semester. So I guess they'll spend the spring together, at least in school. I'm sure she'll hang around there as an influencer as well. And yeah, I mean, it suits him, it seems. They made a big deal out of him driving the Maserati and Gunnar Stinkton driving the 200,000-mile Dodge or whatever truck he has. It might be even more than 200,000 miles, but yeah, he seems to fit into the Miami scene down there. Any other big portal? I mean, the portal just keeps going on and on. I think we could spend multiple hours on that if we wanted to. We don't need to do that, right?
No, everything. The floodgates for Notre Dame will open next week, and the carousel could be whirling as well. So we'll see what happens there.
Oh yes.
Well, actually, multiple carousels.
I wonder if Al would want to come home. I'm only tongue in cheek here, but
he's
hilarious if Al wanted
I did
to come
see
home.
that. That was a good discourse after the game.
Yeah,
reports of him. He would post game. He will have a tough decision about the Bengals, perhaps.
Yeah, I've seen that.
That would also be going home in a sense.
Yes.
And then you have the whole Bears thing, which I think is nothing. But who knows? The cell and the portal. The cell and the portal will be.
You've got the college cell, and then the NFL cell on top of that is awesome.
Yeah, we'll see who goes in the portal. We'll see all this stuff. So,
we never get this with the NBA and college basketball, right? I feel like it's insular to just NFL and college football, like how crazy the cell is, and how reactive, how much dominoes, how many dominoes.
The college to NFL or to NBA rather cell is so rare, I would say, and it's
not Billy Donovan, basically, right?
Yeah.
Him and Brad Stevens.
Yeah. Beeline, maybe.
Beeline was a disaster.
Yeah.
Coach K to the Lakers was always a fun thing.
Yeah.
Every time he was needing to shake him down for more money, but whereas I would say there could be a little more realness to this Freeman Bears thing. We'll see.
We shall.
Could be Ryan Day to the Bears. Who knows?
Oh.
That would be incredible.
Oh. I'd love to see it all. I would love to see it all.
Yeah, we'll get there next week. Which one do you want to start with, Ken?
I guess we could go with the one I didn't get to see much of because I was on a flight, but the first, I guess, 60% of the game I wasn't able to catch for the Cotton Bowl. I assume, AY, you were watching intently to see who was on deck for you guys?
Yeah, I watched the whole game. Pretty locked in.
Yeah. What do you think?
I thought Texas definitely hung in there on defense. Obviously, I mean, you look at the whole game, but I think my whole game is just the memory is tainted by the goal to go situation down 7. I guess the first thing would be
one for the ages.
When Texas knotted up at 7 and Trevion took that screen. As that was happening, when Howard threw the pass to Trevion end of the second quarter there, but the way the camera angle was, all you could see was Henderson like 10 yards, 2 linemen, and like 10 yards. I'm thinking, where the hell is everybody? Sure enough, he made one guy miss, and
I don't even know if he made one guy miss. Really, the guy just took a terrible angle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean that was like as soon as Howard let that ball go and the camera angle swung, you knew that thing was gonna hurt. And sure enough, Texas fans were in disbelief. Credit Texas come out, stop Ohio State.
A couple of times. They stopped him a lot.
Yeah, they played great on D. Ohio State a lot of weird penalties for being very.
That's the Henderson slap was a real. I mean, I feel like that's a sliding doors moment in the game. Mm-hmm. They just go down and score again. But
yeah, they definitely left plenty of points out there. Let Texas hang around, but I mean, then it all just culminates in that goal to go situation.
Yeah,
where it just melted down. Texas they didn't do much. They make some good adjustments with the exploiting Ohio State's defense with the running backs in the passing game.
I
thought it was a pretty good game. It wasn't the best played game, but it was close. It had my attention for sure.
Oh yeah, and I think there were a couple of stops there in the second half where you really thought, oh, Texas is about to go up here, right? When they had the top. Credit they Ohio State came through with the drives when they needed it. They had those timely 4th down conversions, I think, and then getting into the red zone with Will Howard falling down and then eventually punching it in, right? And obviously the big goal line stand at the end. I don't know I mean, that defense is great. The defense really is great. They've had some great luck this year, I feel like. It's not just against – I mean, they had that one against Texas. Sawyer, that's not the first time Sawyer's picked off a quarterback down at the goal line, right? He had a great one against Michigan as well. Mm-hmm. Or I guess he didn't pick off this quarterback here at the goal line. But
forced a turnover. Yep.
He forced a turnover, yeah. And then obviously the goal line stand against Penn State as well. This defense has really, really bowed up when it mattered. All year long, it showed it time and time again. So very impressive again to see them do it. We'll see if they'll be needed again here in a couple of days.
Yeah.
Shall we go to the Holy Try game of the century? Or any other on the ground thoughts over there in Ohio land, Dan?
No, not much. Just definitely thought there were some dumb moments in that game, but credit to Texas.
Credit where it's due.
Yeah. Sticking, I guess, with Dan, I am interested to hear Dan's Orange Bowl experience. I don't know.
We had.
Wait, where were you? What were you?
I was watching at the Villa.
At the Villa.
And I mean, really, by the fourth quarter, I became diabolical. It was as if I could have hatched the perfect unfolding of a game when that got tied up at 24-all. As I texted you guys, I was so happy, and I could see both of your pools of sweat from all the way up in Columbus.
Oh yeah,
and it was just I would say earlier on I voiced some frustration with it was like they were writing an obituary for Notre Dame at halftime, and I do cut some slack because you didn't know what was going to go on with Leonard. Feel like that would have been a tough ask of Angeli, even though he did have the impressive 2-minute drive there off the bench. But Penn State obviously had the really nice drive, the really nice touchdown drive. Probably should have been 2 touchdown drives. I'm sure we will get into that. But that one was at least off a turnover. So it's like they're almost making it a little bit harder because they did get the ball midfield. But it was like, it was as if the tone was as if Penn State was up 28-0.
Right. But it was
I'm like, this is a touchdown game and Notre Dame's getting the ball.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what, you could say, Notre Dame kind of weathered the storm, take that type of approach, but it really was like, like the game was already over. And I just was like, okay, yeah, it was a little bit lopsided, but certainly things that could happen in the second half to not make it, not need to be talking about it like it's over at halftime.
Right.
So I thought, I'm trying to think of the big moments in the game. Obviously, there were big plays by both teams. That I would say what could have been, probably still is, the most controversial play of the game was the pass interference. And I think that was really colored by, I'm sure other people have made this point, but it was colored by the poor decision.
Oh, well, I don't think it was a poor decision. It was a terrible throw.
Well, there were 3 guys there.
Yeah, but he was behind all of them. If he had thrown it correctly, it would have been an easy touchdown.
Yeah. So I think that part of it, but needless to say, it would have been a tough deciding call, I think, for Notre Dame there.
Yeah, I know. I was not happy.
Yeah, that was tough. Obviously the interception, and that'll be debated for, I would think,
I don't
multiple
think there's
years.
even any debate for it.
The decision to kind of go for the win at the end there by Penn State.
Oh, yeah.
Building up to it.
I'm
Instead
sure
of just playing
if they
for
gone
overtime.
the other direction, Penn State, and it went the wrong way, Penn State fans would have been so pissed. And
right, about not trying to go.
Exactly. The usual game-ending management from.
Because what was the exact scenario at that point?
I think
They had
51 seconds and
with 2 timeouts?
Yeah. There's plenty of time to get in the free goal range.
Exactly, yeah. So
and all throughout the year, the offense has operated its best when they're in NASCAR mode.
Yeah. So
I have not had the heart to go back and watch it yet.
Yeah, I mean, this is one you wait. Yeah, I didn't talk to you really.
No, I have not. I have not been able to decipher the film. I've only listened. I've listened to all the podcasts. I have had that stomach for that. So I guess I'm getting everything in the second and third, takes and film study from other sources here. I haven't watched it with my own eyes. From what I understand, that throw. If Omari had, and not that it was a good throw by any means, but Drew threw it to a specific spot where if Omari had run a better route, it would have been where it should have been, basically. He floated upfield. He was upfield a little more, rounded off the route, and didn't come across parallel where he should have. And that's, from my understanding, I haven't seen it again, like I said. I haven't done the rewatch. Don't know when I will. Probably in the summer sometime.
Yeah.
But yeah, to your point,
that was my experience. As far as that was, I think I touched on the high points. I'm trying to think if I missed anything. Obviously, the heat check throw by Leonard that led to Penn State going ahead. That was tough.
Yeah, I haven't gone back and seen it, like I said, but
it was pretty narrow. It was pretty narrow.
Was there pressure on him there?
A little bit, but I think he was just kind of feeling himself. I mean, they'd taken that, taken that lead, and I think he was
he
had to go blow for blow.
That I thought
that should have ended it.
That might have been picked if that got past Dennis Sutton. That would have been picked by the corner.
By the DB, yeah.
That was narrow.
Yep.
Wow. Great play by a DDS, by the dentist.
I thought that was an incredible play in the moment, and then upon review, I was like, yeah, that's really good.
And just an all-time classic from my standpoint. I don't know how anybody that watched it couldn't consider that. I was hoping we had the at least the roots of a Penn State Rutgers Classic, which would have been perfect also.
Yeah.
But it was it was a bona fide all-time classic. Perfect point total, everything.
Yeah, no, it's crazy because Penn State won the turnover battle. They rushed for 200 plus yards. They had a double-digit lead. They had everything. If you had spotted any one of those things, I think, much less all three, I think you probably lean Penn State to win there in the game. And so very disheartening if you're a Penn State fan. A lot of missed opportunities in that first half. Like you said, it felt like 28-0, but it wasn't. It was 10-0 off. It was a pretty bad throw, but still a catchable ball by Singleton. That resulted in the field goal. You had they were able to run down the field. They did convert the first. It wasn't a pass interference, but a holding penalty that allowed for. Oh no, that was the one that resulted in the field goal. Sorry, but they did convert the next drive. It was like a 90-yard drive where they just ran it down the throat. From what I heard again from the podcast, it looked like maybe Al was coming out expecting Kotelnicki to do something crazy and like kind of sat back and was expecting something that didn't end up coming. And so they adjusted obviously in the second half. It didn't seem like they were expecting Penn State to just come out and look to smash him in the mouth, which is what did happen. Penn State's defense did a good job, I think, in the first half. They got that pick as well. But you saw it on that first drive, and it happened time and time again. I think Riley, not to take anything away from him, he had an amazing game. But his guys went up and got the ball. We have not seen any players, not that Drew was good by any means, but we haven't seen anybody aside from Tyler Warren go up and get the ball the way that 88 was getting it. Greathouse had a couple of really nice catches, right? They came up with plays, and not just plays, but plays in third and long situations throughout the game that really broke Penn State's defense's back, I think. And I feel like 50-50 ball basically went Notre Dame's way. When it came to plays, obviously Penn State got a ton of great calls. Penn State got, we haven't talked about it at all yet, but Abdul Carter with an amazing game, with half a body working. Just overall very, very disheartening if you're a Penn State fan, because you kind of let one slip through the cracks, and that one's very winnable, especially with the touchdown lead late, with the defense that to that point had taken some lumps in the second half. But they're a team that you thought could, and the defense did get the timely stop. They got the stop when they needed it. They stopped them and got the ball back to the offense, like we said, with time to spare and a couple of timeouts. It was a tough one. I've gone on long enough. AY, to the victory.
One last thing I forgot to mention for my reactions. I don't know if I said to you guys. I was just talking to everybody I've talked about that game since. I just said, I can't believe that Stiff made all these kicks. Of course, referring to Mr. January.
Yeah.
It was an incredible performance. They weren't bombs, obviously, but I'm like, and the amount of
what
stories.
What did he hurt? His groin was hurt? His groin. Yeah.
Groin, yeah. So I'll end on that. Sorry, I forgot. I wanted to add that as part of it. So credit to him too.
Oh God, if that would have made me so happy. If through it all, that last game-winning kick, he would have missed it. Oh, just because it was him, and not just because obviously it would have given Penn State life, but it would have been so.
I think I said to you guys, I know we weren't talking about the game because although the service there was great because there wasn't a ton of people.
Yeah.
But I said I think early, maybe like when it was tied up 24, the first time Notre Dame was going down to try and tie it.
Yeah.
I remember saying like, just give Mr. January a chance. And
that's
a bit
Mr. January.
And sure enough, like in real lifetime, like 20 minutes later, he got the chance.
Yeah.
I thought there was so I did there was a 24-minute highlight clip posted that night. After I left the hotel room, I went over to Mike Brown.
Oh yeah. So you can watch it over there.
He was talking my ear off, and I was like,
Mike
I was like, I'm gonna watch the game quick. He's like, all right, yeah, I still can't believe this.
Yeah.
So he finally fell asleep. And there's plays I want to see, but the one play that wasn't on there was, I thought, there's so many big plays, but the Abdul Carter not recovering the fumble.
Oh yeah, because he had half the body
on Angeli.
Yeah,
I did end up finding that clip. It's crazy how he didn't get that.
Yeah, I've heard if he had a working second half of his body, he would have had it.
Oh, he absolutely, without a doubt. I thought he had it even just with like no arms because he's like laying on it.
Oh my god!
I don't know how. I will never know how he didn't recover that fumble. But that gave Notre Dame a little bit of life with Mr. January kicking the field goal. In the second half, that drive coming out of the second half was absolutely perfect.
Oh yeah.
3 straight carries of love for like 25 yards, and that little slip wheel route to Aeneas. Then he had a 15-yard run after that.
Aeneas.
And then the QB power behind Love, like 6 plays. That was perfect. I don't know. I think I said it to. I don't know if I said it verbally to you, Can and Grant. I was sitting next to Grant. I was in the aisle. Grant was next to me, and then Can, and then Mike. And
so I was going to ask about that. So you were in that picture from the TV broadcast.
I guess I was at the very end of it, but it was cut off.
I think you could see him in one of the pictures Ratty sent me. You could see him, I think. Maybe Mike.
I don't know if I told them verbally. I think I told you in some chat. I must have been with Roth Dan. I was like, I'm not having any fun right now.
Uh-huh.
Like I don't think anybody really was. If they were, then they're probably those 2 Ohio State fans we saw at the hotel.
Oh yeah.
So what the hell are they doing?
It was here. It was there. I don't know. So you see Roost.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's next to Grant.
Behind Grant's hat, yeah. I mean, it was just crazy that when it was
a crazy game.
So down 10-0, I didn't feel great. When Jolie came in, I was like, okay, I was like,
I mean, I said it multiple times. I said that this line's not going to be able to keep them.
Like, let's just get some points and just try and figure something out. And then when Notre Dame went up 17-10 on that Love touchdown.
Oh yeah.
I was like, okay, like I felt good. And then Penn State just marches down the field and ties it up. And I feel like crap. And then a play later, Leonard throws a pick. And it's like,
it was a classic college football game. The ups and the downs.
It was 24-17, and then 5 minutes left. You're down 7. Like, you have that drive and maybe one more if you don't get up a score. And that's the Great House touchdown with the slippage.
Cam Miller has transferred to Rutgers also. Number 5 that fell down.
This is our house.
This is our house. I can't wait for Liam Clifford to do that to him next year.
Yeah, I mean, it was just up and down and crazy and
a classic game. I'm glad I'm not a Penn State fan because I enjoyed it and it was a classic. I loved watching every second. If I were a Penn State fan, which I'm not, I would have been miserable.
It was a fairly quiet bus ride home until the 2 yahoos behind me started playing the fight song.
The Notre Dame fight song. And the old Penn Stater up front was getting so bad. The handicapped Penn Stater, oh my God.
Any altercations that you guys witnessed?
Not really.
The only one, we're walking out and some Penn State fan was hammered.
Oh yeah, he was mad at you.
And he goes, "What the fuck are you looking at?" And I was like,
that's rather tame.
Yeah, I said
there was more
guy behind us was
there was more bitterness at the Pitt Wake Forest Conference Championship game, from the sounds of it.
I think Penn State fans were just so dejected, just so saddened. There's no fight left in them after that. There's no fight. Yeah, I know Grant was not happy with the guy behind us. That guy, he was gross.
Oh, in the stands.
Yeah.
He was the only guy. He's the only guy I could high five. I was in a sea of white.
He was in the Penn State section.
And then so the only guy that got mad at me during the game was there was some front row to our right can.
Oh,
Second guy in was an older Asian guy.
Dude, he was on my flight. His whole family was on my flight.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah, they were all on my flight, sitting right next to me.
I was clapping at one point because I was like, "Come on, guys, let's go!" Like, I think we were down. Like, let's keep it going.
Yeah.
And he made a comment like sit down and shut up. I looked at him like, what?
No, that whole family was on my flight. There was like 7 of them.
They did roll deep, yeah.
Yeah, there was 7 of them.
I was like, all right, man, like, whatever.
Oh man.
Oh,
I will. Yeah. Other comments about it. Great stadium to watch in. Terrible stadium to get to.
I totally agree. That place is awesome. Getting there is the biggest pain in the neck in the world.
Yeah, the 2 hours via one train stop and then busing it in from there. Probably like what do you think? Like maybe 2 miles total from the train station to Hard Rock?
No, I did check I checked maps. It was close to 5.
Really?
It was hard to tell though because it was just all stop and go.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was close to 5.
Yeah, probably like 15, 20 minutes for the train and then an hour 40. And then we got out early also to walk.
Yeah, because the bathroom in the bus was inoperable. Oh, Dan, this is good. I don't know if you heard this from Steve.
I have not heard from him.
About halfway through the bus ride, it was taking forever. I had to go to the bathroom. We were towards the front, so I made my way to the back to go to the bathroom, and I find out the door is locked. You can't get in there. So I'm like, what the heck? So I just sat down next to some guy back there. I didn't walk back up at that moment. So I'm sitting back there talking with some people in the back, and like 10 minutes go by, and somebody texts in the chat like, "You all right back there? You all right in there?" And I just said, "No, I'm stuck." And I can hear them up there giggling, talking amongst themselves. They're texting back. And then finally, I see, and I think I said again, like I can't get out or something like that. And all of a sudden, Steve hops up, sprints back to the bathroom. Like, I'm sitting like right to the left of it, so you could see me if you're. Like, I don't know how he missed me, but he missed me. He leans into the door. He goes, "Hey, boy, you're right in there." At this point, like I'm like off to his left, and I just go, "Yeah, I'm all right." He's like, "Oh my god!"
Oh fuck you! Oh fuck yeah! Oh my god!
He sits down and he sticks his hand
No,
out.
he got me. He yeah.
Gives me the finger. He's sitting back there.
Oh god! Another middle-aged couple sitting there laughing at him. He's right there the whole time. Nah,
Yeah.
He got me. Yeah.
The whole back of the bus is laughing at him.
The Ross Marrero.
Yeah.
The bus was not moving at all. There was a guy that ran off to go to the bathroom, and then we went like one stoplight, and he came trotting back up and got back on the bus. Yeah, it was a classic.
What they end up doing with? Did you hear what they end up doing with Greg's ticket, or did he just eat it?
Greg or Dave?
I know. Yeah. What happened with Dave's ticket?
But Dave's ticket did get sold. There was new Dave that was sitting next to Roos the whole game. He took a picture with him. Yeah. Greg couldn't make it. What happened? I didn't even know.
Shannon had the flu.
Oh.
And then he thought he was getting the flu, and then I think it ended up being not as bad as she had it, but he obviously didn't want to go and get everybody sick. So
we ran into Rick and them.
That's why I was asking if they mentioned.
No, they didn't mention anything. We ran into him up on the in the mezzanine.
AY drop.
No, is it? Did he? I guess he did. Well, I guess we can end the pod then. Don't need to talk about that.
Yeah, no game. No game.
No game. Oh, I will. I guess
we can start. Yeah, we can say
we
ours.
We can start it off. Yep, 8.5 points we're picking it at today. It's come down from 9.5. I think it opened at.
Yeah.
Ohio State. I mean, what can you say? They played a game. They won a game that wasn't all that clean for them. I think that
definitely not. No.
Notre Dame. I see a lot of people saying, they don't have a chance. They'll get blown out. Obviously, the number reflects that. It's relatively large. But there's something about this Notre Dame team. I feel even through all the injuries, they're very well coached, right? I think. Yeah. They've got the horses, especially in that back end to I don't think obviously they'll be able to hold JJ Smith down as much as like Texas did. But if they do employ some of that stuff, I think that it's possible. I think they'll throw some things at them that they should be able to hold the running game as well. It'll come down to, I think, how much how much they're hurting. I think that Jagasaw was back. He was playing guard. They might be able to move him back over. I would ask AY actually here. AY, are they going to be moving Jagasaw back over to left tackle? I know he's playing guard for the game.
I think he's still situated there.
You're back in. You are back in.
Back in.
Can you hear us?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Chelsea unplugged my computer as she ran by. And it's in. But Jagasaw.
Is the plan to move him over to left tackle again?
Well, because on my notes here, the very first note I have is O-line update.
Okay, yes, Nap out for the season.
Nap out
for the season. Season-ending injury.
Season-ending, yeah, sprained ankle. So the two holes in the O-line now: left tackle, Nap out, right guard Rocco Spindler, battling injury. Spindler sounds like he is going to go. So that means the left tackle is open. Is it going to be Tosh Baker, who filled in against Penn State, or is it going to be Jagasaw, who was playing right guard when Spindler went out? It's going to be Jagasaw, supposedly.
Allegedly.
And I'm not Joe Rudolph, the O-line coach, but Jagasaw is the best lineman of all that were mentioned. Is he better at right guard and put somebody else at left tackle? I don't think so, because Tosh Baker can't pass block. It's been his Achilles heel his whole career. It's why he lost to the Nap in preseason camp. So Jagasaw is back, starting where he was beginning of camp. And Spindler is in at right guard for as long as he can. If he's unproductive, then I assume they'll go to Sam Pendleton. So yeah, Jagasaw, left tackle.
That's set. They are moving him to left tackle.
That's what the word is. Yes. On the depth chart it says or Tosh Baker, but it does sound like that's how I was doing it. Yes.
Makes sense.
Yes, that's good. Other injury notes: Bo Collins strained calf against Penn State. Didn't do much of anything. Hardly played. He questionable. Howard Cross visibly injured. He's going to go, but how healthy is he? And the last one is Jeremiah Love.
Jeremiah Love.
We'll see what this extra 10 days can do. Dan, if you can, I'm switching back to the computer.
I'm on it, so I'll remove you.
Yep.
Seamless transition.
Seamless.
Okay, there we go.
There it is.
Dog went upstairs. You want me to get into this game quick?
Yeah. What's your feelings on it?
Can you guys hear me? There we go.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep.
What's your feelings on it?
I feel like we're up against it, but I mean, there's a path, I suppose. Let me run through these quick. So I went through some notes, some numbers. I was just digging in some numbers. I want to know what changed from Ohio State until they clicked into warpath mode.
Right.
And some things really didn't change. It was kind of just the defense, like you said, has always been amazing. The D line, JT, Tuihalamau, Sawyer, and Ty Williams to Hamilton. They have per the metric. A lot of this is per the metric. So take a little bit of grain of salt, but it's solid enough. 95.1 run D grade, which is number one since the 2019 Chase Young Ohio State. So it's hard to run the ball on this team. Less than 1 yard before contact, and they don't really miss tackles. They've been playing three safeties, Hancock and Ransom, been going too deep. And Caleb Downs has really been like a linebacker safety. He's been playing like 10 yards off the ball, coming up, playing some weak side linebacker, some middle linebacker, some roaming safety. I think they're using him the perfect way. Like, the guy's amazing. Let him just give him free reign. And they have been something that one of the guys picked up on is they've been stacking Simon and Styles over the ends, which going back and after I heard that one back and looked at it, and yeah, like, it looks funny. So they're just not allowing you to run outside, forcing you inside to those two D tackles. And it's basically creating like a funnel. And it's been working amazing as far as stopping the run. So Notre Dame, they can get explosive runs, right? We know Jeremiah Love and Jarian Price can go off. Well, they did in the regular season. 20% explosive run rate. That's over 10 yards. That's 10-yard carries, 1 over 5. They were doing it all year. Yeah, there's some bad defenses in there for sure. And they were fully healthy. Lately, Price has looked lost against Penn State. I feel like every time I get the ball, it's a 4-yard loss. In the CFP, 9.6 explosive run rate. That's really bad. Only one team had a worse explosive run rate all year, and that was Kennesaw State. So that's not the company you want to be in. Going to the other side of the ball, Notre Dame plays man, obviously, a lot more than anybody except for Purdue, which is funny.
Purdue's not good.
But
everybody's like, why did this guy not why does this guy? He's fired now. Why does he keep doing this?
Yeah, I don't know. That's odd. They play a ton of man D, and they're really good at it too. Leonard Moore has the same man coverage grade as Travis Hunter. I mean, he is really good. Very highly productive. Not as highly touted and rated coming out, but Will Howard, second best pass grade versus man. Jeremiah Smith, number one pass grade versus man. So is Notre Dame going to go strength on strength? Are they going to go the Texas approach and go zone when they don't play zone? Are they going to go back and forth? I mean, obviously Notre Dame plays zone. You don't play man 100% of the time. But how much are they going to mix up the man versus zone versus the bracketing on Jeremiah Smith like they did with Marvin Harrison last year? I let Abuka go run wild against Clark and Gray and Carnell Tate. Like, I don't know. I don't know what you're going to do. That's not for me to decide. And then the other side of the ball, Riley Leonard. We went over this against Indiana, I think. When he's under pressure, he's not good. When he's blitzed, he is good. And when it's a non-manufactured pressure, Leonard's not good. And what is Ohio State really, really good at? Non-manufactured pressure. Their ends, especially in the playoff, they have 10 sacks between their ends.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are just eating lately. They blitz a third of the time, but they're still third in pressure rate. Like these guys, all four, these guys are just wreaking complete havoc on offensive lines and allowing the defense to just sit back there, plug run holes, and make it impossible to pass. They barnstormed Tennessee with this. They blew the doors off of Oregon with this. And Texas really couldn't do much on offense either until they got their running backs involved. Like, it's so hard to move the ball in this defense. Their pass D inside the numbers is number 2 as far as grading. So don't try and go up the middle. Number 60 outside, because we all know the penalty woes of Igminosa. We know how Burke got torched against Oregon. He got a little dinged up last game. So one positive here, Notre Dame does pass outside the numbers. It's all, out routes to Evans, slot fades to Greathouse and Evans or Jayden Thomas or Eli Raridan. So it's pretty simple for Notre Dame. Attack the corners and avoid the middle at all costs. Use Aeneas Williams out of the backfield and somehow try and block up front and somehow just try and keep him honest. My last note here is back to the Ohio State run scheme, which we know how there was comments against Nebraska. I think it was mainly Nebraska is when it really came into focus, when Chip Kelly was so stubborn, just kept banging his head against the wall. Like, hey, I'm going to run the ball. I'm going to run the ball. And they couldn't do anything against them. That's because they were going with a lot of they were pretty balanced in gap scheme versus zone scheme. And he realized with all these injuries, it's much easier to go gap scheme because you don't have the linemen have to think about it. They just run to an area instead of worry about passing guys off. So now lately they've been going 70% gap scheme. Just tell a guy where he's headed after the snap, not to worry about who's there or what guy to find. Just tell him where to go, what gap, and meat grind it. And that's what they've been doing. And you guessed it, Notre Dame is not as good against gap scheme. They're much better against zone schemes. The D-line is not, which this is where having Riley Mills would be amazing. So these guys need to play with their absolute – Rubio's going to have to play the game of his freaking life here. Luckily, the back seven is good at cleaning up the gap scheme runs, but you can only do so much when the guys are 4 yards downfield. And then if they miss one tackle, they're 8 yards downfield. So it's not pretty. So I know it does sound doom and gloom. And so I go back and forth. I'm thinking, well, Iowa game was 7-0. The Nebraska game was nip and tuck. They just lost to Michigan a month ago. I saw them with my own eyes against Penn State. Penn State played them really tough. So it's like, well, if the offense sputters, the defense is good, but the offense can go through spells for sure. So I think the keys to victory here are obvious. Rock fight. It approaches like the Georgia game. Now, the only problem is Georgia had no receivers and a backup quarterback. They had a similar offensive line. I think Ohio State and Georgia's line are similar. They're both not great, but Ohio State's is a little better. Will Howard's better than Stockton. Running backs are a little better than Georgia's, and the receivers might as well be a different sport at this point. And then on defense for Notre Dame, I think you got to bend and not break. You saw them just get road graded by Penn State in that first half. And for a drive in the second half, drive and a half in the second half. I just question the bodies up front, like Howard Cross, not fully healthy. Gabe Rubio is healthy, but he's got to play awesome. Tuihalamaka, Maka, Burnham, Bryce Young. They got to find something here. Like the linebackers, Kaiser's been flying around. Kingston Viamasa has been flying around since coming back from injury. Drake Bowen flying around. So if the front guys can just, take on a man with the linebackers shoot the gaps, I don't know, maybe create some things. I do think you need to force Ohio State to try to run the ball, though. As good as the pass defense is, it's only so good. We saw what USC did. I think you just try and stop the pass and force the run and take your chances there. Obviously, create turnovers, cover great, take some shots. I think you have to. What's Notre Dame done all year? Not take shots. Maybe they're saving something crazy here. But who are they going to take a shot with? Maybe Greathouse has feeling himself a bit. I don't know, play action with face on. I don't think the personnel's really there to take shots. And my last note was Jeremiah Love. Whatever he has in the tank, if he can just muster something, find something.
He had enough energy on that touchdown run.
Yeah, just channel something. Get a little crease somewhere. Get a cheap 70-yard touchdown run.
Not many of those for Ohio State defense.
Maybe one a year. So maybe just, I don't know. Look, I think that was pretty doom and gloom, but then you got the stuff the intangible stuff you can't really factor in. The pucker factor with Ryan Day and his team.
The sphincteritis.
I know they've been I know the warpath has been on, but if they get into a street fight in the third, fourth quarter, I mean, Notre Dame's been there plenty of times now. They seem to make the play when they have to. Can they keep it going? One more game, why not? No, it's gonna be tough. How do you guys feel?
I think it'll be tough for Notre Dame here. But again, Ohio State's offense has disappeared at strange times this year. And Notre Dame's defense is very well coached. I think it's been proven, even with pieces going down, that they can scheme around it. I think the entire team is well coached, especially the defense. I do expect them to come out and have the ability to stop them. I think I said it when you were offline there, filibustering a little bit, but I do think they can take some of what Texas did, and I think they will try to limit and make sure J.J. Smith doesn't really kill them. Obviously, they've got a Tate and a Emeka Egbuka and the tight end out there as well that are all very effective, and you have to figure out how to mitigate those. But I think I don't see any reason why. I mean, this defense has been good all year, really. I don't see any reason why to get off that bandwagon and think that they can't be up to the task here. Are they going to, where are those timely stops and where are they able to hold them down all game? I don't think so, but, the stops do matter. And when and if they're able to take advantage of those stops, Riley and any type of presence outside, 88 again, Evans, you're going to have to come up with those big contested catches again and make plays from, like I said, that they were making against Penn State for them to have a chance. I think Ohio State. I expect a similar game to what Notre Dame or to what Texas had for them. I don't think it'll be a blowout like the first two playoff games they played in. I don't think the way Notre Dame operates, they'll be able to. I think they'll be able to dig and dunk out of the field. Riley runs for a first down here, just extends drives, keeps the Ohio State explosive offense on the sidelines, and I think you'll see it be a 7-10 point game at the end of the game, and I don't think it'll be like a blowout by any means, but I think it'll be right inside the number for just about the whole game, and you'll get like a field goal at the end that'll push it over, I guess. So I'll go 24-14, maybe.
Yeah, points. I mean, they've given up more than 17 points twice all year.
Right.
Once to a real Oregon team and once to a garbage time Oregon team. So really once.
Yeah.
Feels like a 31-14 Ohio State game, but leaving myself to not be surprised if the sphincteritis does kick in. Notre Dame actually pulls this off.
Ah.
Yeah. I know I said all those bad things, but
I
feel like Notre Dame's just gonna just. I know I've been saying for like months now. I feel like this, but when a guy goes down, it's a bridge too far. But
hasn't been.
It's just like a really long bridge, and we're not going to get there. I don't know. So I say this every week too. I mean, there's your 10,000 simulations. I think more than likely Ohio State covers here, but there's plenty of variations. There's the 41-10 game in there for sure. There's a 31-13 game in there for sure. But for this variation, I think they find a way. 24-20, Notre Dame.
Here we go.
We can't come all this way.
No, you can't come all this way.
Just
No.
nail it in.
I know
we
are the
come on.
the non-Ohio State Notre Dame fan watching this should be delighted by the fact that we will have either a direct transitive national championship for the Northern Illinois Huskies or the Michigan Wolverines have been terrible this year.
We don't need back for Michigan Wolverines.
I did think of that as well. Like, say Notre Dame does win. What, like, this team we looked at, they won it all. Can you believe they lost to Northern Illinois that year? That would be something. Look, I'm not. Don't take this as me mailing it in here, but this has been a really fun team to follow, and
it has been eventful.
As frustrating as it's been, and all the setbacks amongst the high points along the way. It's crazy that we're here, and I wrote into The Athletic, had a poll, who's going to win. So I clicked Notre Dame, obviously, and there was a comment.
Doing your part.
There was a comment box that said, like, who's going to make a big play? Like, how are they going to do it? And I wrote in, and I think this is what it's going to be. I think Jeremiah Love has a moment. I think that all the transfers, the 8 of the 8 transfers, 7 of them had huge moments in the Georgia game and throughout the playoffs and the season. But the one who's still left with that not having a moment yet is Chris Mitchell.
Oh,
who doesn't see the field a ton.
Not Mitchell Evans.
I just think Chris Mitchell.
You're going to say the Chinese guy.
No.
You.
So I wouldn't be surprised if Chris Mitchell does like or maybe even Jordan Clark on defense. But yeah, I'll say Chris Mitchell gets like a broken down Leonard scramble. Leonard actually dumps it off to him in the chaos, and he makes a man miss and goes for like a long touchdown. And I also wrote on the end of it, it would only be fitting because Notre Dame's not going to blow out Ohio State. There's no way. It'd be so fitting if the season ends with a Ohio State driving Xavier Watts interception to end it.
That would be something.
I know that's someone who hates.
What about a Will Howard scramble and sliding as the
For someone who hates sports movies, that would be a Hollywood ending if X Watts gets it.
We have to do another hour. No, I'm just kidding.
It's gonna be tough for sure, but everywhere you look, I feel like it's just the matchup's so highlighted, like saying, "Oh, they don't stand a chance. They don't stand a chance." And I'm not just. Maybe it's only this like a few people, but I mean, the Independent had Ari Wasserman on. He's like, yeah, 38-17 Ohio State.
Oh yeah, that guy is he is right up there. He's in the Bud Elliott tier of insufferable.
Oh, he is all about.
Well, that's the thing. Well, he had Notre Dame to make the playoff after the NIU loss.
He did. I listen to him in Staples every day. Basically.
Yeah, he picked him over Penn State. Like, he hasn't been. Like, he calls how he sees it. So I mean, yeah. I was like, I wasn't mad. I was like, man. I mean, yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm not here looking for people to pick Notre Dame. I'm just looking for different opinions.
I don't know who I would be more mad about winning, honestly.
That was my final thought. What is the?
Yeah, well,
what's the pulse?
I would hate for Ohio State to win another one, but I guess where does that
make more sense?
Yeah, it doesn't really change where Penn State is. It doesn't really change where Ohio State is. Mm-hmm. I guess Notre Dame winning, would make me more mad because I would think, well, Penn State was right there. Penn State could have done this.
I mean, Ohio State winning is like the Dodgers winning the World Series. Oh, congratulations. Like, you could play it that way.
Yeah.
And I intend to on Tuesday morning if that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
Go. Congratulations. The plucky bunch, like that clown show. Who the hell was that guy? I sent you guys that tweet.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah, like just how Dabo would do his little Clemson routine. I mean, I get it. You got to,
No, I think Notre Dame would make me more mad because of how close Penn State was and thinking should have been Penn State there and could have been Penn State there beating Ohio State with the transitive almost win over Notre Dame. But, and nothing – it would be Notre Dame getting to a mountaintop they haven't gotten to in a long time, and it'd be another program doing that before Penn State. Ohio State's been there.
I guess that I have two more things now. The last game, I probably mentioned this before on here at some point years ago. The last game Notre Dame played before I was born was the win over West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was wondering. Yeah, you just missed the
which won them the 88 title.
Yeah, it's been you this whole time.
So that's been there, and I wonder if we need a 30 for 30 for Lost Letterman on what if Notre Dame wins on what NIU's coach Thomas Hammock said to Marcus Freeman on that phone call.
Oh yeah.
I just told him y'all got to play tough. I don't know, but whatever he said, something clicked. I mean, come on. I mean, you don't want to see Ryan Day win. You'd rather see Freeman, right?
I don't know.
I feel like that's a no doubt.
Freeman's been bitching about Franklin this whole.
Well, didn't he kind of little brother him?
Marcus was not happy about Jimmy.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is rich coming from Jimmy. I mean, what is that guy done?
Yeah. The little brother stuff. I get it. I chalk it up to the usual competitor always having to, find fuel in anything.
And then you got Brian Kelly on the sidelines.
Oh, you're rooting. He's rooting for him.
He is excited.
He's excited. Excited. All right.
We'll see. So there's our final pick of the year.
Final pick of the year. We got to an hour. Why you didn't want to get here, we did it. We got it.
There it is.
There it is. All right. Well, for anybody making the trip, safe travels down there to Atlanta. Enjoy Martin Luther King weekend in a city built by him, Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And good luck to all. I hope for a good game. If it's a good game, AY, you won't have any fun. So I'll have fun, though.
That's right. You get to be diabolical like I was. And again, like AY before us. This isn't me going rogue and enjoying this. AY had plenty of entertainment out of our clashes over the years.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, that 42-39 game was
that was not a fun one.
That's one of my favorite games of all time.
That is not one of my favorite games of all time.
I would say the funnier one was the last one.
Oh, Pickett throwing it to
that was with Narduzzi kicking on the
kicking it at the
field
one.
goal on the 1 yard line.
Oh, that's
down 7.
He didn't learn from his didn't learn his lesson there, did he?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's one for the ages.
All right. I think it's only fitting to. I think we'll come back next week just to put a bow on everything.
Yeah.
I think we have to after if we were out in the first round, I'd say screw it. But
I agree with let's come back.
We'll put a bow on things. We'll have some portal and some cell stuff, and we'll take off till March, and then we'll get gear up for next year. But so there you go.
Yep.
All right.
One final game Monday nights, 7:30 kick is good. Won't be too late. So for me, AY from the beautiful state capital of the red state, the Commonwealth, Pennsylvania, to my west, Deberg.
Good night, all.
And to my east, Cam.
Good night.
Thank you for listening. We'll see you next week, and have a good one.